of a best rapper ever is exactly what you said. If he's going to be the best rapper ever, you have to have longevity. You have to have stat. It's just like basketball. You're going to put somebody in the Hall of Fame. You're going to compare. Basically, you're calling him the Michael Jordan of rap. He's got to have the rings. He got to have the championship. He's got to have the longevity, the impact on the league that a Michael Jordan or a Magic Johnson had. And Biggie only has one of those stats. He only has the impact. Just like you said, when it hit New York, it didn't just hit New York, because I was in Atlanta when the Big Mac came out. And we was down here at Freaknik, me, Kysii, all my friends from New York, everybody here, cause like everybody we hang with is from New York. So it filtered through to everybody. We understood what Bad Boy and what everything has accomplished as a label and as a hip-hop icon, but I believe his iconicness is only indicative of his death. Because if you look at his body of work outside of the fact that he died, it is good, maybe great, but not the greatest.
Well, G, I think a lot of it is based off of projections as well. You think dude was 25 when he got killed. 25 years old, man. And when he got killed, we can say, oh, well, maybe his album sales skyrocketed because he died. But then we can make the same argument about Tupac, with the Machiavelli album. But still in all, I feel like
we can't make the same argument about Tupac, because Tupac put out several albums before he died.
Before then, yeah, but exactly though. But still, we can still base Tupac. We still base where we place Tupac not just off of what he did before he died, but also where he was about to go. You know what I mean? When Tupac came on Death Row, it was a totally different Pac than the Holla If You Hear Me era. We know that. You know what I'm saying? So once Tupac signed with Death Row, and then it was Renegade Tupac, Outlaw Tupac, beat somebody ass Tupac, hit him up Tupac, bomb first Tupac. You know what I'm saying? It's way different than the Brenda's Got a Baby Tupac. Those are two different, same person, but two different rappers, if you ask me. Same person, two different rappers, two different times, two different eras, two different things that they were really preaching. You know what I'm saying? Tupac was more about sending a message before he got shot. You know what I'm saying? He was more about sending a message, and after that, it was about war. He was still sending messages, but it was about war. You know what I'm saying? So I get what you're saying, because Tupac does have a longer catalog than Biggie does, but at the same time, like I'm saying, the dude was 25 years old. It's like saying, okay, well, Kobe Bryant played longer than Michael Jordan by a long shot. He played way longer than Michael Jordan, but we're not going to say that Michael Jordan ain't better than Kobe. You know what I mean? Magic Johnson didn't play. He didn't play but like 9 years in the league because 9 or 10 because of the HIV thing. But we still say Magic is the best point guard ever. You know what I'm saying? We don't put Isaiah Thomas over him. We still put Isaiah Thomas in the top, and he didn't even play but 9 years.
Yeah, but what you're missing about that argument is Magic Johnson already had a Hall of Fame career before he got HIV. Tupac was already in the line to be one of the best rappers ever before he died. He had already proved he had proved his diversity up until, just like you said.
How many platinum albums did Tupac have before All Eyes on Me?
Huh?
How many platinum albums did Tupac have before All Eyes? How many platinum albums did Tupac have before All Eyes on Me?
Are we talking about platinum albums? That's what our criteria is? We're talking about impact?
No. It's not the criteria. It's not the criteria. I'm just saying, saying that he was already projected to be.
Before All Eyes on Me, Tupac had probably 4 iconic hip-hop songs before All Eyes on Me. I'm talking about, this is my criteria. It's iconic hip-hop songs, whether it went platinum, whatever. I'm talking about impact, like the way Eric B. for President is, like the way what's the shit from Fight the Power is for Public Enemy, like iconic songs that actually changed the trajectory of hip-hop. What you're saying to me,
now, Biggie had at least 3 before Life After Death.
Right. That. I'm not disputing that.
And that's off of one album. So you're telling me Pac had 4 off of the albums that he had, and I'm telling you Big had 3 at least. So we can say Big had 1 less iconic hip-hop song with 1 album versus Tupac, who had, you said, about 4 off of the few albums he had before All Eyes on Me. And just the way you said, you know, Biggie's his success was predicated off of his death. Tupac's success really took off after he went to jail.
But those two things don't have anything to do with each other. And part two to my argument, my rebuttal to your argument is the equivalent of what you're saying is because Biggie died, that immediately you have to include his potential. You can't include his potential because Biggie could have lived and made a record with motherfucking Martha Stewart, nigga. He could have went all the way pop and been doing records with the niggas at Party Rock Nation. He could be on a tour with Justin Bieber right now. What the fuck are you talking about?
Wait.
No.
And here's my rebuttal to yours. Here's my rebuttal. Ain't that what Kanye West is doing? Your number one rapper, don't he do stuff with Rick Rock stars and, you know, put diamonds on it? Like, I mean, is that what Kanye's doing?
That's what he's doing, but that doesn't change. That's what he's went to from, and he's the perfect example. I'm glad you said that. That's what Biggie could be doing right now. Biggie could be making duets right now with 7th Streeter. He could be, you know what I'm saying? He had already started diversifying, making songs with Bone and all other different type of artists. He made a singing song back when niggas wasn't even supposed to be singing and rapping. He made that on Ready to Die album. But your argument is we got to base him on his potential. That's like basing Len Bias on his potential as a basketball player and saying he should be in the 50 greatest players because even though he died, his potential was so great. That's what you're saying.
Len Bias didn't actually play in the NBA, though.
I know, but that's still what you're saying. His potential was so. People always say, oh, he would have been Jordan if he had made the league, if he hadn't overdosed, if he hadn't do that. That's what you're saying. Oh, if Biggie would have stayed, he would have showed you why he's the best. But he didn't. So you can't equate his stature in hip-hop is only predicated on the fact that he died and what he could have done.
I disagree with that. I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying, and I'm not saying that you're not making good points. I'm not saying that you're not making good points. Yeah, I'm saying you're making great points, but I'm not necessarily saying that it's all predicated on where he was going to go. But I'm saying look what he did in that short period of time. You know what I'm saying? Now I get what you're saying because to me a better analogy of what you're saying is kind of like saying, all right, well, Terrell Davis is one of the greatest running backs of all time, but we can't call him a Hall of Famer because he just didn't quite do it long enough. To me, that's where your argument really holds more weight. You know what I'm saying? We know John Elway wouldn't have no Super Bowls if it wasn't for him.
He won Super Bowls. He did all that, but really, is he better than Barry Sanders? Is he better than Emmitt Smith? Is he? You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. And he just quite didn't do it long enough that we can call him a Hall of Famer. But what I'm saying is, I just feel like I mean, you couldn't turn on a radio without hearing, they wasn't really showing New York rappers love in L.A. after the whole East Coast, West Coast thing, but they were playing Biggie records. You know what I'm saying? Like, you think of what he did. Like, there was a whole coastal beef predicated behind him and Tupac. You know, not him and a whole bunch of other people. Him and Tupac alone. He had a whole coast ready to send out diss tracks on anybody from the West Side because it's like, all right, well, it's East Coast, West Coast. Like, you got that. That is iconic, man. That is iconic. And I get what you're saying. Yeah, well, and I would say this. If we wanted to do it on longevity, let's call the double album 2 albums. So we can say, okay, well, technically he only put out 2 albums, but he put out enough. One of them was a double album, so we can say he put out 3. You know what I mean? And he didn't go away, fade to black because he got shelved. He faded to black because he got killed. And like I told Kysii before you got on the line, they're not playing. I don't hear no Soulja Slim records on the radio. You know what I'm saying? I don't hear no Big L records on the radio. I don't hear them big enough Freaky Ty. You know, they barely even show Jam Master Jay as much love as they show Biggie when his birthday. They play Biggie all day on his birthday, and they play Biggie just about all day on the day that he got murdered every year. Not to mention the fact they still play him on other days that has nothing relevant to do with his life or his death. You know what I'm saying? That's what I mean by, like, look at what he has done in such a short period of time, and what he did for the game of hip hop, what he did for a culture, for a coast. It was real. It was real.
Yeah, Greggo, tell me.
And that is my argument right there. what he did for the hip-hop culture is create this jiggy over-expenditure. We're going to excess. We're going to blow Bentleys up. We're going to get all of our money and spend it on chains and champagne and expensive liquors and clothes we can't pronounce, and basically turn hip-hop from... Huh?
He didn't start that. Jay-Z started that.
No.
You missed that part. You missed that part. You missed it. All right, so let me ask you this. Where on Ready to Die? Where on the album Ready to Die did you hear Biggie say anything about champagne on Ready to Die? Never. He never heard anything. The only song that he had was Big Papa. I'm clocking your Versace Sage Watch. That is the only thing he ever said about like flashy, flossy on the entire album. It was Jay-Z. I'm trying to tell you, Jay-Z on Reasonable Doubt was talking about Louis the 13th. You know what I'm saying? Talking about taking trips to Vegas, and you know, you see them playing Monopoly with real money. You know, that Jay-Z started that. Biggie was just the one who took it to a national stage because Bad Boy at the time was bigger, and you know they had more of a fan base than Rockefeller did. I'm telling you, Jay-Z started that. Biggie was the one who just took it to a place where you're like, oh my goodness.
You just extended my argument. So if Jay-Z started it and him and Biggie was supposed to be best friends, and then Biggie's the one that took it to the next level, and his album before he died, like, first of all, to rebut what you first just said, what are the three songs that Biggie have that are so iconic?
You got Juicy, you got Big Papa, and you got Who Shot You?
Nah, that's one more chance.
So his one song that you said on Ready to Die.
There's another one. There's one more chance, and then so we.
Well, his fully flossing song is probably one of his most popular songs off of that first album, and what helped him establish himself as one of the greatest rappers of all time. It is.
But he never wanted to make that record, though. He never wanted to make the record because he told him he couldn't sell the album.
If you give him credit for what he would have did if he didn't die, how you not going to give him credit for the shit that he did? Puff Daddy didn't put a gun to his head and make him go in there and do the shit. He did the shit. Those were his words. He didn't want to rap over that beat, but he did the rap. He did the shit. That was his words. That's what he wanted to do. And when he went to Ready to Die, it was all about Versace this, Versace that, and Boston, and jumping out of yachts and driving the car backwards and doing all that shit.
That wasn't Ready to Die. That wasn't Ready to Die. That was Life After Death. You mixed up the album.
You're giving him credit for his two albums.
Ready to Die.
Hey, who?
It doesn't matter.
But you saying that he started that, and you saying that he was talking that flossy stuff on Ready to Die when he wasn't.
Yeah.
Hold
on.
Biggie Smalls. Okay, I would challenge you to find me one lyric on Ready to Die when he said anything about wearing a chain. On Ready to Die, he would make the song about robbing people. You know what I'm saying?
And Machine Gun Funk.
Give me the loop.
Let me double Dutch jump in here.
Who is this? Oh, Greggo.
Fish on that. This is Greggo.
What's up,
Excuse me. This is Greggo. What's going on? Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Kysii. Good morning, Jay Fish.
All right.
Microwave.
What up?
And good morning, real people. I have to agree with Fish on that. I mean, that was probably the thing that took me towards the Biggie, the first album, because he was talking about robbing people. He was talking about, you know, the gutter life of New York. So, I mean, like, for me, it was painting a picture of, you know, the gutter side of New York and what they was doing on a day-to-day. And I have to agree, like, you know, Puff took him to more of a world or a mainstream status on that second album. But it was like regular bottles. If he talked about champagne, it was something cheap, you know what I'm saying? I mean, it was something that was attainable by most on that first album, I should say. But I think the reason that he's being played today is for the reason that, you know, like Puff took him to a different level. I mean, I would love to see what he could have done, but I just don't know I don't know if his heart was in it, because it's just, you know, like you've seen some of those reports where it seems like he was trying to get out of it, or, you know, he just didn't like the direction that Puff was taking him, or just any of that kind of stuff. But I think I don't know, I kind of want to disagree with Fish on the subject of the reason that they still play him to this day is because he was so great, or if it was just the way that, you know, he was promoted.
The reason why they play him today is because the dude who he was signed to is one of the biggest moguls in fucking hip-hop still. That's the only reason they play Biggie. If Biggie was on loud records with like a Black Moon